Ben Morris from the Smart Energy Lab, and I'm here today at the Smart Energy Council's Expo and Conference in Sydney with Emily.
Hi.
Now, Emily, I've known you for a long time,
Yes.
and you've helped me with trading STCs and
Yep.
all the
We go
compliance
way
stuff.
back.
Way back. And I've always known you as Green Energy Trading.
Mhm.
I just saw the name, Green Energy Group. What's that about?
Well, we've come bringing 5 companies together under the Green Energy Group.
Yep.
You'll know Rick started Green Energy Trading and Green Energy Markets back in 2007.
So let's just identify that. That was about trading certificates.
That was about trading certificates under the Green Energy Trading Company, and he used his Green Energy Markets company to be really focused on analytics of the markets and informing the markets to help make really smart decisions with the data. Because we know Rick, he loves data, he loves his graphs.
Yeah, and of course, customers like the Australian government want that data too.
They want those insights.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so they can get the profile right for the next next round.
Green Energy Markets has been very privileged to be a contributor to those modelling in the past. And
So
through
they were the
today.
two that I really knew. So
Yep.
it was trading and then it was analysis of markets. But what are the other three?
So in 2019, opportunity presented itself to Rick to buy National Carbon Bank of Australia, or the commercial lighting division of National Carbon Bank of Australia. And that has really opened up the market for us in New South Wales energy efficiency. And we're really proud of the work that the team in Sydney have been doing. And they've recently diversified into offering services in water heating and in HVAC.
Is this Eskies?
Yeah, this is Eskies.
Right.
The New South Wales government has been really bullish on making New South Wales an energy efficiency powerhouse.
Yeah, and their renewable energy zones that they just announced. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing opportunities for solar and energy efficiency here.
So that's three.
That's 3. In a couple of years ago, Caroline Bennett, who has been a long time employee at Green Energy Trading, had a light bulb moment. And that was, she was working in measurement verification services under Green Energy Trading, and the clients that she was working with were searching for someone who could help them get to net zero, to really understand the frameworks that are out there internationally and in Australia, and they just didn't know where to start. And Caroline has a wealth of knowledge and expertise, and so her new business, Green Energy and Carbon Management, helps those energy intensive companies in commercial industrial space start to tackle that challenge and meet their commitments for net zero.
I mean, there's a lot of media around phony net zero. This isn't sort of like a certification or authentication of their efforts by a third party.
Well, Caroline and her team are really committed to giving these companies actionable plans where they can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good line.
It is a great line.
So that's 4. What's the 5th one?
So recently, an old friend of Rick's, Peter Shuey, who's been working closely in our offices in Melbourne for many, many years, they've been in talks to collaborate and join the Green Energy Group with his Australian Carbon Exchange ACX Argyle business.
Yep.
And they're accredited as a green power supplier of selling carbon offsets to companies who need them for their NGAS reporting and other obligations.
Wow. The Green Energy Trading and all its offshoots or collaborations or embodiments with all those components has been an incubator for all sorts of great ideas. I mean, you just mentioned several actually people who used to work for Green Energy Trading who've started their own businesses.
Absolutely. We really pride ourselves on innovating and accelerating the efforts we need to make to really have an impact on climate policy in Australia.
Cool. Now, let me put my installer hat on. So,
please.
Yeah. So, I'm just a small-time installer. I'm doing a job and I want to create some STCs. How do I go about that with Green Energy Trading?
Well, Green Energy Trading is your STC creator.
Yep.
We're still in that market.
Yep.
And we're committed to creating the access open and making it easy. So we've got an online platform, the Geo platform, that helps you create STCs, VEECs, the Victorian Energy Efficiency Certificates, and ESCIs, the Energy Savings Certificates for New South Wales. So we cover solar PV, water heating and air conditioning.
Through the same app?
Well, there's the online portal,
Oh, okay.
and then we have an accompanying installer app called OnSite, which really helps installers focus on the job at hand and only collect the photos and documents and serial number scans that they need to do. Installers with our app, they don't need to do the whole job from start to finish for their contractor. The contractor is responsible for setting up the job for them, and they just collect the evidence they need for their contractor to complete the claim.
There's a bit of a Dorothy Dix question. I've used OnSite, 156 modules to scan.
Oh, goodness.
In the old days, it was you actually had to type them into a spreadsheet.
Yes.
And now I go click, 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 click. It's got to keep moving on.
Yes. Well, we knew that scanning was the biggest challenge, and certainly for the bigger jobs, it was a massive challenge.
Yeah.
And so we made sure that we used to have OnSite is an evolution from the first app that we developed, which was GeoScan.
Yeah.
And what we liked about what we developed there was it was a no-fail scan. You couldn't repeat scan, so we tried to eliminate the pain points that people were experiencing there. But boy, I'd love to speak to some of these panel manufacturers and help get their barcodes in some kind of standardization, because they've thrown up a couple of curly ones to us recently with white printed on black stickers because they look aesthetically pleasing.
Ripley glass that distorts the text.
Diamond glass, they like to call it.
Diamond glass, okay. Yeah, right.
So we have experienced those challenges, and we've been listening to users when those challenges have been thrown up, and our development team have been dedicated to overcoming them.
And you can do the selfies as well.
And you can do the selfies,
At the letterbox, at the inverter, at the site that you're doing the commissioning on. Yeah. There's a lot of photos. I wonder if any other industry has to take so many photos of what they do every day.
I don't think so.
You hear a lot of complaints from installers about how regulated our industry is, but I mean, how do you answer that question? Why do we have so much regulation?
That is a really tough question. I mean, we should ask the regulator that. I think the regulation is about ensuring the integrity of the system, of our scheme. The regulation protects us from cowboys. The story in solar is different to what we've seen in energy efficiency. Green Energy Trading and National Carbon Bank have had a lot of fingers and a lot of pies, and we've seen some really challenging environments where people cut corners, where people game these government incentive programs to the detriment of the scheme. I can tell you so many stories, but the one we had last year was devastating. In Victoria, the Victorian government introduced the refrigerated cabinet activity. It became incredibly popular. There were changes made that we knew were going to lead to gaming in the program, and we saw it happen. And that was people bringing in extremely cheap product, refrigerated product, dumping them in places where there was absolutely no need for them. Devastating stuff, because overnight the government came in and shut down the activity. We had clients who entered into that new business area in good faith. They had containers of stock on the water.
And the program was shut down
and the program was completely shut down.
Yeah.
And so that they were stranded. And that is why the compliance protects us, because it protects us from being stranded businesses.
You think they would have learned from the debacle over hot water services, where you got so much, so many STCs have just kept on adding more and more hot water services.
The commercial heat pumps.
That's right. Commercial heat pumps.
The same thing happened. And that's going way back to 2010.
Wasn't there a little kind of footy club that put like 18 in for their shower block?
Yeah.
And one would have been enough.
Absolutely. We are seeing new incentives emerging for commercial heat pumps.
Yeah.
And I hope the government learns the lessons. The regulators learn the lessons from those past experiences. I hope they're not too far in the past for them to remember that they need to protect against that kind of poor
gaming. Yeah. I think you answered my question very well, which is we've got so much regulation in this industry because there are incentive programs that could be gamed or abused. It also undermines the activity in itself, which is to produce more renewable energy, because you end up with products that fail after 1 year or never were installed at all. So when it's involving public money.
Especially when the underlying aim is to decarbonize our system.
Yes.
You know, it's not to just generate more energy. It has a purpose, and that is to decarbonize. That is to get us to a place where we can shut down Liddell. We can shut down all the remaining coal-fired power generation around the country with confidence.
Yeah.
Because we're working towards building a system that is stable, reliable, and dependable. Here when we need it most. Keeping the lights on.
Here's to shutting down coal. Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Emily.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by.
No worries.